Houston's original neighborhood downtown is for everyone, and right now is the perfect time to check out their Market Square Park Farmers Market. Every Saturday until November 16th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., the Farmers Market is putting a spotlight on local growers and makers who are providing access to seasonally fresh and affordable fruits and vegetables, plus meat proteins and prepared foods, as well as other household goods. There's also live music from local artists and other entertainment, and it's free. You can learn more at downtownhouston.org. Downtown Houston, get energized and revived. Find your fall vibes in Pearland with a full calendar of autumn events. Hike through history from Valentin's Brewing Company to the Old Settler Cemetery on October 25th. And on October 26th, you can kickstart your holiday shopping at the Pearland Boutique Shop and Hop. And enjoy curated menus for a cause the entire month of November for Pearland Restaurant Weeks. Discover Pearland this season, where charm and hospitality meet unforgettable experiences. Get all the details on these events and more at visitpearland.com/to-do. Today on CityCast Houston. Early voting is officially underway, and with dozens of races on the ballot, we want to help you get ready to step into the voting booth. But we're doing it a little different. Executive producer Laura Isensee has prepared a civics quiz, so she's going to take over as host, and I'll be facing off against Houston Landing's civic engagement reporter, Tim Carlin. It's Monday, October 21st. I'm Raheel Ramzanali, and here's what Houston's talking about.
Okay, today is the first day of early voting, and we want to help get all of y'all ready to cast your ballot. But instead of a typical civics lesson, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're teaming up with the Houston Landing for the ultimate civics throwdown that you need to hear before you go vote. So here's who's playing. We've got Tim Carlin, the civics engagement reporter at the Houston Landing, and he's produced a really comprehensive election guide called Your Voice, Your Vote. Welcome back to the show, Tim.
Hi, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Excited to have you. And of course, we have CityCast Houston host Raheel Ramzanali. Hey, Raheel, happy Monday.
Hey, I am excited to do this, and it's nice to be on the other side, receiving the questions. So I'm pumped, and yeah, Tim, let's do this.
Yeah,
because you have no idea what the questions are, right?
None. I have no idea. You told me do not look at any of the questions, don't research ahead of time. So I did that. I am going in just like a normal person. So this is going to be interesting.
And so here's how it's going to work. Y'all are going to face off to see who knows the Harris County ballot the best. We're talking about all the wonky offices and policies. And this is going to be tough because, Tim, you wrote the voter guide. So you're kind of like our Michael Jordan, or maybe I should say Hakeem Olajuwon of civics here. And Raheel, I mean, we've been talking a lot about the election on CityCast Houston, but let's be honest, compared to Tim, you're kind of like the guy playing pickup basketball at the YMCA. I mean, no offense. I know you're great at basketball, but I'm just saying.
No, this is definitely a huge mismatch right now, and I'm for it. I can't wait because I'm curious about these questions, and the ballot is so long. It is so big that there are so many races. So I'm interested to see how much I know and how much I don't know, which is probably going to be more of the case there.
Yeah, and so we're gonna stick to 10 questions. I'm gonna ask y'all 10 questions, and Raheel, you're gonna get the first shot. And here's the deal: if you get at least half of them right, you'll win a Friday off before the end of the year.
Oh, hey, Tim.
Stakes got raised.
Tim, throw the game, okay? And then on my day off, I'll come get you lunch, okay?
And Tim, there's something in it for you too, okay? If you win, Tim, if Raheel doesn't get at least half right, how about we'll have you back on the show before the end of the year? Does that sound fair?
Sounds lovely.
Okay. All right, let's get started. Here we go. Our CityCast Houston Civics Throwdown. We're going to start off with an easy question for number one. This is true or false. Here we go. In Texas, you can vote with a state handgun license as your identification. True or false?
Whoa. Oh, this is a tough one. I'm going to go true because that is a form of ID that I guess you have to get through the state. So I'm going to go true on this one.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah? All right. There we
Yes.
go. Our state loves guns, okay? And it only makes sense that we can pull up to cast our vote and say, hey, here's my ID. Look at my gun ID. We're good to go. So, yeah, that makes sense.
There's a handful of different ones you could use. Obviously, a driver's license, a passport, but there are some wonkier ones like a state handgun license will let you cast your ballot in the great state of Texas.
Can you pull up with an old high school ID and do it?
I don't think so, but you can pull up with an expired driver's license if you're of a certain age. So that is kind of helpful for some of our older folks who maybe aren't driving anymore.
Okay.
Important thing, you do need ID, and there's 7 different options. And yes, state handgun license qualifies.
Boom.
I guess that's 1 point for Raheel. Way to go. Off to a good start.
All right.
All right. Question number 2. If you live in Harris County, you may not be happy that property taxes are going up. What position on the ballot actually votes on those tax rates? And Raheel, while you're thinking, I'm going to give you a hint. 2 of these positions are up for re-election.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to go back to stories we've talked about. We're always talking about the commissioner's court when we talk about taxes with Harris County, right? I think I'm right on this one. So it has to be a commissioner. I'm going with that. Is that the correct answer?
That is.
Yes.
Hey, here we
He's 2
go.
for 2. He's 2
Here we
for
go.
2.
I'm feeling confident right now, Laura. I'm going to let Tim buzz in if he wants, okay? I'm feeling really good. I got 2 correct. So, Tim, if you want to, we can make this a buzzer style and go at it. I'm just feeling good right now. I know these are easy, so I might regret this.
We'll give you like maybe
We'll give you a
one
couple
more.
more.
Okay.
But yes, you are correct. The county commissioners and the county judge vote on the tax rate like they just did this fall. And 2 are up for re-election. That would be Commissioner for Precinct 1, Rodney Ellis against Jerry Vanderlyn. And also Commissioner for Precinct 3, Tom Ramsey is trying to keep his seat as a Republican against Democratic challenger Salim Malik. So that is also on the ballot. Let's keep going. Gonna give this one to you again, Raheel, first. It's another true or false. Question number 3. To be a justice of the peace in Texas, and this is a kind of judge, a justice of the peace, you need a law degree and have practiced law for at least 4 years in order to run.
Oh, okay. So the Justice of Peace judge usually deals with a lot of, I just want to simplify it, like family cases. Is that correct? Like, Tim, I need some help here.
I don't know.
No help?
I don't know.
No
Do we
help?
need to
I'm like, I
do
don't
we
know.
need to
What are
give
the
you a
rules
hint?
here?
Okay. I'll just talk through it.
Okay.
it. The Justice of the Peace, I believe, is the judge that deals more with with family issues. And I actually know somebody that ran for Justice of the Peace, and I'm not sure if this person practiced law for 4 years. So I'm going to say false.
It's correct, but I'll give you some clarifications there. So,
Okay.
justices of the peace aren't necessarily family court judges. There are specifically family court judges, but your justices of the peace are kind of the lowest level judge at the county level. So if you're caught speeding on a county road and you have to go to court, you're going to go see a justice of the peace. They also deal with kind of landlord-tenant disputes, which is a big issue for a lot of renters across the county. They also can perform marriages, basically anything that's punishable by a small fine or is kind of a low-level misdemeanor. That's who you're
Yeah.
going to go see. And the truth is, you don't need a law degree at all to be a justice of the peace.
Wow.
You don't need any legal experience whatsoever, which is kind of crazy when you think about the types of cases they deal with.
Yeah.
So this sounds more like somebody who's more of like a mediator in times, right? Or no?
Hmm.
I mean, they are a judge, but like Tim said, they're doing, marriages, they're hearing eviction cases, they're hearing
Hmm.
traffic tickets. And Tim, right now, Verheel is up 3 and you're still at
I was at
0. So
0.
I'm going to give you a chance for just a bonus point. Can you
Okay.
give us what are the actual requirements to run as a justice of the peace
Oh
in Harris
gosh.
County? Do you remember?
Okay. I'm gonna hit you with them. So you don't need any legal experience. I know that for a fact. In order to be a justice of the peace, you have to be 18 years old, right? You have to live in Texas for 12 months, and I think you have to be a Harris County resident for 6 months. Am I right?
You're right. You're
Hey,
right.
Okay.
So, okay, we're
point.
going to give you one
Whew.
point on the board.
Now, hold on, 18 years old. And like, no disrespect to the 18-year-olds out there, okay? But when I was 18, there was no way, no reason why I should be making any sort of decisions. Even though these are low stakes, they're still important decisions to the people that are impacted by them.
100%.
Has an 18-year-old ever won the position? I don't know if we have the answer to that, but that is wild to me.
I think that's a good research question. I might have to dig into that because I think
Yeah.
that's interesting.
Now, how many of these positions are up for election right now?
Oh, quite a few.
Yes. So there are 16 justices of the peace in Harris County. They're broken up into precincts. There are 8 precincts, and each precinct has 2 justices of the peace. And so one of those 2 justices for every precinct is up for an election this year.
Yeah.
Most of them are uncontested. So you have people kind of running for reelection, but there are a couple, I want to say 2 or 3 are contested races this year.
And we'll get more into all the different kinds of judges as we keep going with our civics throwdown.
Oh,
But
okay.
yes, there's 8 on the ballot for Harris County, and one reason why our ballot is so long.
Mhm.
All right, so we're going to keep moving. Question number 4. Spider-Man can shoot webs. Wonder Woman has amazing strength. And here in Harris County, there's one kind of elected law enforcement officer who also has special powers. Not like in the comic books, but some special powers and authority that their peers in other Texas counties do not have. What position is this? And again, this is on the ballot.
Whoa. This is a tough one. Okay. They have special powers. I'm trying to think who would have special powers. I the constable. I don't know. I have no idea who would have special powers here in Harris County.
That's actually correct. Are
What?
you cheating this
I
game
I
right now?
I promise I am not cheating, okay? That was
Yeah.
an absolute guess right there because I know with the constable's office, there are always, hey, we're not getting paid enough, and hey, our salary's not correct, and we need more. So that was the first thing that came to mind. I don't know why that I would correlate that with special powers, but what
Mhm.
is the special power of a constable? I'm curious now.
Yeah, so technically, well, in a lot of places, constables are kind of there are law enforcement officers, right? But a lot of them don't have as wide ranging duties and abilities as they do in Harris County. So in Harris County, we have a special program. It's called the Contract Deputy Program. So if you live in like a subdivision or a city or neighborhood like with an HOA or something like that, and you can actually pay your constable precinct if you live in 7 of the 8 precincts. There's one that doesn't participate, but you can actually pay for like heightened levels of patrol in your community, which is super unique and not
Whoa.
done anywhere else in Texas. But also, aside from that fact, they just have more authority than a lot of other constables do. You know, typically a constable serves like legal documents if you're being like subpoenaed or sued or things like that. But here they kind of have the same levels of authority as like a sheriff's deputy would. So yeah, there's just like a higher kind of level of power for constables and constable deputies in Harris County.
Wow, that is fascinating. That
Hmm.
almost makes it like pay to play for some neighborhoods, right? In communities.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah, it's one reason why they're more, I would say, gotten a lot more scrutiny, especially in the last year with some really deep dive reporting by the Houston Chronicle and our friends at the Houston Landing. So yeah, way to go, Raheel. You are 4 for 4.
Yeah.
And Tim got 1 special bonus point. So I think we're going to have to ramp it up. We're going to introduce the buzzer. We don't want to give it away. So
yeah, we're too close for a day off here.
So if you think you have the right answer, Raheel, ring this bell. Or Tim, you can press this buzzer. Okay?
Okay, now it's on. I don't know if they were easy, but thank you for the questions and the opportunity to go first. Now Tim is locked in. He's like, okay, let's destroy Raheel 6 in a row here.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right. Question number 5. And we're going to stay on public safety here. What office on the ballot is responsible for the Harris County Jail? And I'll give you a hint. We talked about this office on CityCast Houston in September. Wait, I feel like that was at the same time. Yeah, I'm going to give it to you, Tim.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to say the sheriff's office is responsible for maintaining the county jail.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
That's what I was going to say, because remember, Lucio Vasquez joined us for his deep dive into what's happening as Harris County Jail, and we talked about that. It was the sheriff's office that is managing the jail, right? And there's a level of scrutiny that needs to go with the sheriff's office. So I'm going to say that was an easy one for me, but I don't know if it was for everyone.
Yeah. One of the many authorities of the Harris County Sheriff.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. I was like, if you really want to get technical, you could also say the commissioner's court, because they kind of oversee the sheriff too. But the sheriff is directly responsible. Yeah. That's kind of where my mind was going. And actually, our current sheriff, Ed Gonzalez, is up for re-election against Republican challenger Mike Knox. He's a former city councilman. So,
contested race there.
Hey Houston, looking for some design inspiration? Check out the 2024 AIA Houston Home Tour. On November 2nd and 3rd, you'll get a rare chance to step inside some of the city's most stunning custom homes, all crafted by some of Houston's top architects. Whether you're dreaming up your own perfect space or just love exploring amazing designs like I do, this tour is a must. Each home is a masterpiece showcasing the collaboration between homeowners, architects, and builders. And the best part? You can chat with the architects right there on site, so you can get tips, ask questions, and soak up all the creative vibes. Don't miss out on this unique experience. To learn more or grab your tickets, just head over to architecturehouston.org. Again, that's architecturehouston.org. So mark your calendars November 2nd and 3rd and come join us for the AIA Houston Home Tour. You won't want to miss it. The British International School of Houston is an international and diverse private school with top academic results in a state-of-the-art campus serving children from pre-K3 to 12th grade. The British International School of Houston offers an outstanding private education with state-of-the-art facilities on a sprawling 32-acre campus unlike anywhere else. They recruit teachers who are global talents to inspire students' confidence, resilience, and creativity with an international-minded environment. Students build pathways to the world's best universities through excellent results and internationally recognized qualifications. Are you interested in learning more about the British International School of Houston? Search BIS Houston today and get in touch with their admissions team. You can also join their upcoming open house on October 30th by registering online. That's the British International School of Houston. The Museum of Fine Arts Houston presents Living with the Gods, Arts, Beliefs, and Peoples. To celebrate its centennial, the museum has organized a once-in-a-lifetime exhibition that features extraordinary objects made by artists to communicate with their gods. Living with the Gods represents a vast array of religions and beliefs, with art created across cultures and across thousands of years. The 200 objects demonstrate the astonishing quality that artists have achieved when driven by passion and faith. Living with the Gods is on view from October 27th through January 20th, 2025. Visit mfah.org/livingwiththegods to learn more. That's mfah.org/livingwiththegods.
Question number 6. This is going to help people get ready to actually go in the booth, because if you are like me and you like to print out your sample ballot in Harris County so you can have it in your hand because no cell phones, how many pages is the ballot if you print it out?
Oh my gosh. That's a good one.
I'm going to give you multiple choice, okay? Is it A, 21 pages? Is it B, 9 pages? Or is it C, 5 pages? How long is the ballot printed out in Harris County?
That's a really good one.
Okay.
You go. I'm going to let Raheel do this one. You go.
Okay, I'm just going to do the math on air, right? Tim, maybe we'll just answer this together. So we've got 8 Justice of the Peace judges, right? For sure. So that's going to be like 2 pages right there. I'm going to go 5 pages.
See, I was leaning more toward 9, but I don't know.
What is
I
it?
think we'll have to see.
It's okay. Final
I'll
answer.
go 5. Tim is 9.
Yeah, I'm going to go with 9.
And the correct answer is 5.
Hey.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
All right. Raheel, you're up to 5 points, but Tim still has 2 points. So we're going to keep going. We're going to see who gets the most.
We're going to keep going. Yeah. Let's do it.
Stakes have changed a little. Whoever has the most points at the end wins now. So we're going to move on to question number 7, and we're going to go back to judges because judges are a huge part of the ballot in Harris County. So if you are getting a divorce in Harris County, things didn't work out for whatever reason, what kind of judge will hear your case? Okay, Tim.
Yeah. So.
And I'm going to admit, this is a little bit of a trick question.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So if you're getting a divorce, I believe there's technically 2 types of judges. So one, if there are kids involved, you may be going to family court. But if not, you're going to be seeing a civil district judge.
That is correct.
Okay.
Nice work, Tim. I did not know that one, and I hope I never have to know that one.
Yeah. Some information you hope you don't have to use, right?
Yeah. Wow. Well, since you gave both answers, I kind of feel like you deserve 2 points.
Oh, I'm not going to be mad at that one.
Hey, so it's 5-4 now with how many questions left?
We're going to 10, so we got 3 questions left.
All right. Uh-oh.
Yeah, 5-4. It's a little closer than we thought.
Yeah.
But here we go. So question number 8 is related to voting, and it's another true or false question. The Harris County Tax Assessor Collector is responsible for registering voters. And yes, this office is on the ballot.
I'm going to go with true.
That is correct.
Right, because the power has shifted now to this office because of the changes in how our election is run.
Exactly. So for a few years there, we had just a dedicated elections office in Harris County. But now you're right. The registering of voters it's actually part of the tax assessor collector's title technically is tax assessor collector and voter registrar. So the power has shifted back to that office. Yeah.
And this office is on the ballot this year. So I'm sure it was a stressful time, like getting the election ready. And also, is this person being opposed at all, or is this?
So good question. The incumbent, actually, her name is Ann Harris Bennett. She has actually decided not to run for re-election.
Okay.
So she kind of has been just focusing on getting the election together, doing her job as the tax assessor collector. But there are 2 people running for the position. You have Annette Ramirez, and then you also have Steve Raddick for the Republican side.
Yeah, and Steve Raddick being a former Harris County commissioner, so
exactly.
Pretty well-known name in Harris County and looking for a new office.
Mm-hmm.
I think that ties the game.
That
It
ties it
does.
up.
Oh, two questions
Two
left.
Dun
to
dun
go.
dun.
Everyone counts. Okay, question number 9. How many races on the ballot in Harris County are unopposed? That is.
This is not fair. I have no idea. Oh man.
That means, of course, that there's only one candidate on the ballot. And I'm going to give you a multiple
Jeez.
choice, okay?
Okay.
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 So here we go. Is it A, more than 30? Is it B, more than 20? Or is it C, 7 races unopposed? Okay.
I'm going 7 races unopposed because a lot of them are going to, again, be the justice of the peace, since Tim dropped that on us earlier.
Okay. Okay.
And since there's 8, I'm going to say like 4 of them are unopposed, and then we'll just throw in 3 more for fun. I don't know which races those are, but I'm going to go with 7.
Okay, you're going with 7. What about you, Tim?
So I know that it's far more than 7. I could tell you that. But where you might get me is I don't know if it's more than 20 or more than 30.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to tell you what brings the number up is there's a lot of judges on the ballot, and a lot of them are unopposed. I'm going to say more than 20 and be conservative with my number. So I'm going to lock that one in, but we'll see.
Okay, so Rahil's going with C, only 7 races unopposed on the ballot. And again, the ballot's 5 pages long. And Tim's going with B, more than 20.
Yeah.
All right.
Answer is more than 20. Way to go, Tim.
Yes.
Good job,
There we
Tim.
go.
I got one more
Yeah.
shot at this.
You got one more shot. 5 for Rahil, 6 for Tim. But, before we move on to the last question, I really want to know what happens if you're unopposed? Do you automatically win? Do you still have to get 50%? Like, how does that work?
If you're in these unopposed candidates, it's kind of once you make it through the primary, they're kind of smooth sailing, I guess you could say. The office is theirs because there's no one to challenge them for it. So a lot of these judges, that's kind of partially why judicial elections can be so confusing, is because a lot of times you may not have an opponent to run against you. So it's kind of why run a competitive campaign against no one.
Pretty easy shot if you get past the primary.
Mm.
All right, so have a chance to bring it to a tie, Rahil. Last question. Rahil, you got 5 points. Tim, you got 6. We'll see. Last question. Who's going to win our ultimate civics throwdown? What judge is most likely to interact with Houston residents? And I'm going to give you 3 choices because, again, like Tim said, there's a lot of judges on the ballot. It's one of the hardest parts of being an educated voter, of figuring out all these judges. So 3 choices here. Is it A, a Harris County court at law judge? Is it B, a justice of the peace? Or is it C, the Harris County judge?
I think it's going to be justice of the peace because of what we talked about to start the throwdown, right? You're more likely to see that judge, and there's a lot of them. So I'm going to go justice of the peace.
I would agree. Just because, a low-level judge, kind of your most basic type of court interaction. So I would lock in justice of the peace as well.
That's it. Most
right.
likely to interact, on a day-to-day basis for those marriages, traffic tickets. Hope you don't have to go through an eviction, but if you do, that's who you're going to go to. That's correct. So
A tie
Rahil,
game.
you tied it up.
Hey, it's a tie, so that's good. But I have a question on the justice of the peace judges. When a citizen is researching this person, are they just researching what they tend to believe in? Because they are going to be making important decisions. Are they campaigning? What are they campaigning on? I'm confused about, because this is an important role that will impact citizens.
100%. So there are 3 contested justice of the peace elections. But the thing about justices of the peace is that you vote on those based on where you live. So if you're not in a precinct that has a contested race, you kind of only have one candidate. but a lot of them still do have campaign websites. Some of them are more active than others. So you can kind of see what people are running their campaign on, regardless. You can also, this isn't necessarily foolproof, but the Houston Bar Association, every other year, so during election years, they produce a judicial preference poll. So they poll all of their lawyers who are members of the bar, and they kind of, for all of the contested races, they'll choose actually which of the candidates for all of these judicial positions they think. So if you kind of are looking for a more experienced or firsthand perspective, lawyers who are in these courtrooms, you can actually find that information as well. But a lot of the candidates for Justice of the Peace will have a campaign website where you can kind of learn about them firsthand as well.
It's always really impressive to me, like all these extra voter guides that come from community groups and professional groups. And I think it's so great that people are doing that service to help, the average voter who doesn't always have time to research every single person on the ballot. But man, we are at a tie for our civics throwdown. Who would have thought? But guys, guess what? I got a tiebreaker for you. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, you ready? This is going to call it. It's like the shot at the end of the game. What do you call that? Here we go. Tiebreaker. Who's going to win? Is it going to be day off for Raheel, or is it going to be come back to CityCast, Tim? I don't know if you want that. Here we go. What elected official is responsible for renewing liquor licenses in Harris County?
Oh, go for it, Tim.
That would be the tax assessor collector.
Yes.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Woo.
I knew that one. You know why? Because every Sunday morning, people get mad at the tax assessor collector, even though that's not the tax assessor collector who puts the time limit, right? Because you can't buy alcohol until 12 o'clock on Sunday morning. But for whatever reason, people on Twitter always point out the tax assessor collector. That's a state law, I believe. So,
yes.
Don't hate on the tax assessor collector. They're just doing their job.
Yeah, they're just renewing the licenses. It's the Texas blue laws. It's up to the state ledge. So, hey, if you want to change that, vote for your state reps in Austin. Man, that was so close. You both did amazing. I'm so proud of our collective civics knowledge here. And Tim, we're going to have you back.
I'm so excited.
I love it. I'm glad Tim won because I love having Tim on to learn more about what's happening in the city. And again, research these positions. There's a great guide that Tim worked on tirelessly. I mean, there's so much information. So please read that before you go. And if you're not voting in Harris County, there are other guides put out by other entities as well. If you're in Fort Bend, Montgomery, wherever you are, research it before you go because these are important positions. That's the big takeaway here.
100%.
Yeah. And Tim, can you share just before we wrap up? I mean, we've barely scratched the surface of everything that's in the voter guide that the Houston Landing put out, Your Voice, Your Vote. Could you give us an idea of what else people can find out in this guide you put together?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we did touch on a lot of things. I would say we kind of mentioned it a little bit, but there are a lot of judicial positions up for a vote. And our section on judges is pretty lengthy, but if you can give it some time, there's some really important kind of decisions to be made in that sector, I think. Along with, I would say, all eyes are kind of on the DA's race. So we have a lot of good information on both candidates there as well. Really, I just hope people leave after reading the guide feeling more informed than they were before. That's it. If I accomplish that goal, then I'm happy.
Well, you definitely helped us here at CityCast Houston be more informed. I am feeling really good about going and casting my vote for early voting. Thank you so much for joining and playing. And Raheel, you did awesome, man. We'll talk, maybe half a day off.
Yeah, give Raheel that day off.
I appreciate that. Tim, thank you so much.
Of course. Always happy to be here.
That was Houston Landing's civic engagement reporter Tim Carlin and executive producer Laura Isensee. We've linked Houston Landing's voter guide in the show notes. If you need more information about early voting, which by the way runs through Friday, November 1st, check out texasvotes.gov. So, how did you do on the quiz? Share this episode with 3 friends who plan on voting and tell them to play along as well to see who gets the most right. And while you're at it, please give us a rating and review and hit subscribe for all of our coverage of the election and afterwards. That will do it for today. I'm Raheel Ramzanali. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something new.
All right, y'all ready?
I'm like, for something nervous for some reason. I'm like, gosh, what if I don't know my own reporting? Like, what would that say?
Okay, we're gonna see. All right, Raheel, you good?
Yeah, let's do it.